Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. We'll be praying for, well, we're praying for who we're praying for, but in general for the larger population as well. Um, so a few days ago, like a week ago, uh, as a family, we started doing the Love Dare book. I'm not sure if you guys remember this. It's from a movie called Fireplace. It's a pretty good movie. Um, and as a family, we're starting to do the Love Dare book just during the time of COVID and during the lockdown. I know it's the end, but it came around, and this is what we're doing. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. Um, it's a 40-day challenge. For those of you who don't know, uh, here's the book. The movie's called Fireproof. It's a book for your marriage, but a lot of the principles are the same. Showing how to love more or love better. And so, as a family, my wife and my girls, we're all going through it together. We're on day 3, and I have noticed a pretty big impact already because the girls are taking it ultra serious, and I am too. So I hope that they've noticed also a difference. Um, but I guess just to catch you up, and I'd love to go through this with you guys. Feel free to follow. So I guess just to catch you up, day 1 is on patience. This is day 1. Love is patient. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. That comes from Ephesians 4:2. Um, it talks about life's purest emotions and motivators uh, are far greater if it's done through love. It says it gives courage to a coward. It gives love to a fool. And here's what I like. We all know this, I think, but sometimes we forget it. It says love always does what's best for others and how to empower others through their problems. So if you love somebody, then you're going to do what's best for them, not so much yourself. I'm sure there are going to be some great things that come out of that, but it's not about me, it's about my love for them, which is pretty cool. It talks about how love can motivate a man to put away child things and to provide for his family and take passionate stands for what he believes in, fight for his country, to love for a woman. You know, this is true. For those of you who know me personally, I have a thing about chivalry, the chivalric code, and knights, and I'm into fencing and combat sports, the more romanticized medieval time. And one of the things that gets me about that is, I think William Wallace, we'll use William Wallace, the movie. He was a man who, look what he did because of who he loved. Us men, imagine the things, if we loved this way, the things that we would do for our daughters, our sons, our wives. Uh, there'd be a lot less problems, I think. And if the wives were wrapped up in our adventure, if our children were wrapped up in the adventure, if they knew that we were the protector, if we looked at it through the lens of Wild at Heart or even Captivating, man, I think that would make a difference. Um, so here's like the crux of the first day. It says love is built upon 2 pillars that is best, and what it's best defined by is patience and kindness. All of the other characters are just extensions of these 2 attributes. And that's where this dare begins, with patience. It says, love inspires you to become a more patient person. When you choose to be patient, you respond in a positive way instead of a negative way, or you respond in a positive way to a negative situation. Slow to anger, quick to listen, Now, this is, I've been told I'm over this, but that's been my struggle for the longest time. For those of you who don't know, uh, I'm, I think I listen well, but I get angry, and that's not good. I mean, somewhere, somewhere there's righteous anger, right? And it says, get angry and don't sin. So I'm not saying just anger in itself is bad. But when I'm angry, let's say Mila has done something, and I find out, and I'm like, Mila, what have you done? She's like, Dad, and I was like, nope, that's it, you're in trouble. That's not being loving. That's not being patient. And and I know that, but these last few days I'm really practicing patience with everybody, especially my family though. Like during this time of COVID, it's a blessing. I've seen many, many people write about how it's a time of unity for the family, and that's good. So maybe even we could extend this to the church, because there are a lot of Christians who are being very critical of one another. If someone's wearing a mask, I was just speaking to a pastor friend of mine, you know, and if someone's wearing a mask, then other people are like, you're living in fear and you have no faith. If someone's not wearing a mask, others are like, hey, you don't care about anyone else because the mask isn't for you, it's for everyone else. But instead, somehow, maybe we can be patient with one another and just try to understand one another. And I don't know. So day one is patience. It talks about showing mercy. Um, it asks, do you feel like you've always been treated unfairly? Are you quick to offend someone else? Here's something. Here's something I like this. It says, instead of saying something like, "How dare you? How dare you wrong me?" How about we say, "Can you help me understand? I don't understand why. Could we go through this together?" And just sit and listen. Hopefully that'll help. I know sometimes I'm just being straight up with you. You know, sometimes I'll be like, "So what happened here?" And the explanation, and it infuriates me. So there is that. There is that. But instead of being angry, just understand yourself a little too. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Understanding myself. And then it goes to Proverbs, and it talks about he who is slow to anger has great understanding. And this is true. Think about it. When I'm going in fights, cage fighting, I don't just rush in, wham. Or if I'm doing some sort of jujitsu, I don't just rush in. I try to understand, why is this person fighting? How is this person fighting? What is their style? Not that I'm angry in my fights. But he who is quick-tempered exalts folly. Don't just rush in. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Here's another one. It goes to Proverbs 15:18. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but the slow to anger calms a dispute. Yeah. 1 Thessalonians 5:15. See that no one repays evil for evil, but always seek after that which is good for one another. You see what I mean? It's a book on marriage, but it's good for all of us. I mean, these are rock solid doohickeys. It's like the five love languages. I mean, solid. You know what I'm saying? If we could imagine if we understood each other better and we were slower and quicker to listen, that won't solve all the issues, but I think it would take us a big step forward. Oh, it looks like and what we've all done here, not sure if you see it, we've all wrote up a contract and all of us signed it together. It's kind of like a mix of the resolution and the love dare. So here it is. Here's the actual challenge. The actual challenge is about 10 minutes in. Wow, sorry. The first part of this dare is fairly simple. Although love is communicated in a number of ways, our words are often reflected. Our words often reflect the condition of our hearts. For the next day, resolve to demonstrate patience and to say nothing negative to your spouse or children or whoever you're doing this with at all. If the temptation arises, choose to say nothing. It's that old Peter Rabbit, or is it Thumper? I think it was Thumper from Bambi. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. It's better to hold your tongue than to say something you'll regret. And it has a little spot where you check it off when it's done for the day. You know, if you were able to do the day, check it off. It's awesome. Afterwards, I love this book because afterwards it says, did anything happen today to cause anger towards you or to make you angry at the person who you were trying not to be angry towards? Were you tempted to think disapproving thoughts? Now, let me read them. Were you tempted to think disapproving thoughts and to let them come out in words? How did you handle that? I think this is important. It's not that thinking disapproving thoughts is a bad thing, because sometimes people do things that generally we can disapprove of. You know what I mean? It's so, but I think it's the way that it comes out. The other day, I had some yesterday. I know I had some. I have some every day, so I'm trying to think of when that happened yesterday. The other day I had one that came out. I remember, but I don't remember. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Something happened, and I sat and I remember thinking, this is not good. I disapprove. How can I make this a learning lesson? And I had the choice to come down like an anvil, or a hammer on an anvil, or like whatever else comes down, not like a hammer, the opposite of that, right? And I think I did well. I sat down, we spoke about it. I know what I'm talking about now. We sat down, we spoke about it, and I was able to walk through, what could we have done, what couldn't we have done. And when I seen the shame in her eyes, I was like, nope, stop, listen. I disapproved of that. I didn't dig that. But I love you, and you can make that better. You don't have to do that every time. This is how we can do it in the future. Okay? So that's day 1 of the Love Dare book. I'm gonna try to catch you guys up. So after this video, I'm gonna cut another video on day 2. And day 2 for our family has been pretty amazing. Actually, let me just go over some of what's happened since the day 1. Like I said, we're in day 3, but we're actually on like day 5 because there's been 2 days when we didn't do the book. Just life happens, So since the patience thing, the girls started this while I was out doing some stuff in Lancaster. And I came home and something happened, and one of the girls got mad and frustrated and was like, ugh. And another one of them ran up and they're like, shh, we're supposed to be practicing patience. Remember the patience thing. So, which was funny. Wow, that's a lot of sun in the background, isn't it? Here, is that better? Well, you let me know in the comments. Maybe I could switch sides next time, eh? Basically, everyone's trying to be patient, and it's working. Does that help? I'll just sum it up like that, and I'm going to cut the next video while I still have time. Awesome. Thanks, guys.